So, Danielle, what got you started in real estate?
Okay, so it's a two-part series. We may have to do it to be continued to be determined, but the original part was years ago, and we grew up really poor. I grew up poor, and I remember my grandmother and we rented from this lady, and it was a little, I guess you'd call it shotgun house, but it was like a 2-1. We didn't have no AC. We lived in South Florida, but we made it right. But I remember that house almost practically falling apart. I remember my aunt came across some money from inheriting it, and she came down and she wanted to buy that house for my grandmother. And my grandma did not want that house. She did not want a house.
Yeah.
Who does not want a house? Okay, so that triggered something. But then I also remember from that memory, and this was when I was like between 10 and 11, that, okay, my aunt was like, okay, if you don't want me to buy this house, I'll fix it up so it'll be suitable for you and Danny to live in. So my aunt fixed up this house. Why the landlord raised the rent?
Are you serious?
No.
Y'all fixed it up.
Yes. Her name was Miss Alexander. She lived down.
You ain't got to tell that.
She remembered that. Yes, because that's such a big print in my brain.
Yeah.
She raised that rent so much that we had to move.
She knew what she was doing.
Yes, after we fixed the house, family did everything. So I remember that like it was yesterday. So we moved from that house to a couple more houses to an apartment. And that right then I knew, okay, I'm gonna have to own something because I don't like how this feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first part. And then I remember and so that let me know that I wanted to be a homeowner or I wanted to own real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second caveat was my mom married into a family and they owned property. They owned real estate. They were a well-educated Black family from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I call her my nana. That's my stepdad's mom. She actually had gone to FAM. She passed away in her 80s. So from 1940 to 50, Black going to HBCUs, they had a sense of pride.
Mm-hmm.
And they owned a lot of property. So now I got to see it from a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom, they still own that property. They didn't own that house out, a couple of houses outright. So that was like that second caveat, like, okay, boom, this is why you should own, because you don't want to feel like that. Then two, you're seeing landlords in your family and how different they live because they took that leap and own that property, right? So back then I knew, boom, I want to own something. So I did buy my first house at like 23, 24, and I used the ship phone. And my kids and I lived in that house, and I had it for quite some time. But how I got into real estate as an agent, it's kind of funny. Okay, so I was really, Jeff had where I had to work with him in the construction industry, like hands-on, because he had some injuries. So, and then that's when I realized I couldn't work with him. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Not a day like that. It just didn't sit right with my spirit. So that day, that very day, and I can't even remember exactly what triggered it, because I put it out of my head, my brain, for self-preservation. But that day I signed up for real estate school, and I went over to Target, and that was before we weren't going there no more. And I bought me a little computer because I didn't even have my own personal computer. I said, and I said, okay, I'm gonna have to get into something else because I cannot work. Yeah, and this was also during COVID, around COVID time. So I studied. I told him about my plan, and he was like, yes, that's a good idea. And he went and bought me some flashcards. You know what? We can't work together. It's only flashcards. Get it how you get it. So, and then I remember taking the test and failing it. The first time, girl, and I because I didn't take it really serious, because I was so, and I remember walking out after failing that test. It's like my I couldn't hear. All I heard was my heartbeat because big fella test.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even find my vehicle.
Yeah.
I was disoriented. Then I was like, okay, now I know what type of test it is. Let me release stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Let me get on my stuff. And so then I passed it, and this was in Cali. And I would just kind of do it a little bit, but not so much because I didn't feel like I could really, really, really do it until like friends would be like, "Hey, I know you're real estate, help me." And I started with a boutique brokerage, just like we have with Sage Counsel.
Yeah.
It was a friend of mine, and I had saw her work ethic, and I wanted to be a part of what she had going on. So I used her as a broker. And no, she didn't have like this huge system to study, and it wasn't 20 classes to go to, but she had a lot of one-on-one time.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized this is something that I want to do one day. I know, it's crazy, right? So that's how I got started. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Not a little peanut, but that was like pecan nut.
Yeah.
That's some more. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the gist of it. Yeah, that's the gist of it. So that's how I got started.